I was just thinking about visiting the Toronto Christmas Market when I found out that this year the Toronto Christmas Market in 2021 would not be open. How did I find out? I went to the website of the torontochristmasmarket.com and it said the Toronto Christmas Market will not operate in 2021. And at that point I thought, okay, then let's just do something else. But it turns out, after doing some further research, I found out that the Christmas market in Toronto is actually open, but just not under the name Toronto Christmas Market. And that's all just a bit confusing. Now let's go back to the website. I must admit that I didn't read the notice on the website in much detail, but when I took a second look at it, it actually said that the Distillery District will be holding a separate winter event called the Winter Village, information about which can be found at the distillery.wintervillage.com. So then I went to that website and I found out that yes, the Christmas market in Toronto is open. And what I could gather from the website as well as from various blogs that wrote about it, the Christmas market is pretty much the same and it's just a change in name. So I don't have any idea why they did that. It could just be the case that it's a different company running it. But if I look at the photos, it looks almost identical to the Christmas market last year. Question is answered. The Christmas market is open, or rather the Winter Village. And the next question you might have is it actually worth it going to the Christmas market or not? So this is just my personal experience. I mean, everyone can have a different take on it. I've been to the Christmas market here in Toronto 3 times so far in the past years, and I personally pretty much enjoyed it, but it really depends on what your experience with Christmas markets is. If you've never been to a Christmas market before, then this might be a very fun experience. It might be really something new. It's wonderful looking at all of the lights and experiencing the atmosphere and so on. But if you come from a European country, especially let's say Germany, some of you might know that I actually grew up in Germany and I also studied there. So I've been to countless Christmas markets in various cities in Germany, and there it's just beautiful. It's so splendid, and everything's really great, especially the food. The food is much cheaper and also more delicious, I must say. So overall, I would rate my experience of going to Christmas markets in Germany higher than the Toronto one. But again, as I said, if you've never been to a Christmas market before and you don't have that comparison, then don't let my comment spoil that for you. It will still be pretty much fun to go there with your family or with your friends. And yeah, the good news is that even though we're in the midst of a pandemic, it's open again, the Winter Village. So let's just go to the page and I'll walk you through a few details that you need to pay attention to if you want to go there. But before I do that, if you think that you're one of those people who think that no, I'm not really in the mood to go there again, it's not really worth it, I want to do something else instead this year, then stay with me and watch this video until the end, because I'll be giving you some other suggestions, some other fun things that you can do in the month of November and December around Christmas time. But first of all, let's get back to the website of the Distillery Winter Village, and I'll tell you what you need to pay attention to if you want to go. The first thing is about opening hours and tickets. Pay close attention to the opening hours because these are quite different on different days of the week, so you don't go there just to find that everything's closed and you're disappointed. So it says here that on November 18th to December 31st, on Mondays only, it's open from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. But on Tuesday and Wednesdays, it's open till 9 p.m. Fridays and Saturdays until 10 p.m. and on Sundays back to only 9 p.m. I don't know why they make this so confusing. It might have something to do with the traffic flow. But anyways, keep that in mind. And there are also different opening times for holidays. For example, December 24th until 3 p.m. On December 25th, it's closed. And yeah, surprisingly, it's open on December 26th all the way throughout till the 31st, which I'm not sure if I remember correctly. Usually the Christmas markets only go on till Christmas. The second important thing to notice here is that on certain days you might need to buy a ticket in advance. And the website here says that the tickets are required on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays after 4 p.m. And on there are some certain dates mentioned where you also need a ticket, and the ticket price is $8 each. And this is important here. Kids 5 and under, including babies, require a ticket, but the admission is free, so they don't have to pay, but they still need to have a ticket prepared in advance. And then at all other times, the access is free of charge and tickets are not required. And that means from Mondays till Thursdays. And those are actually also the days that I personally would recommend you to go. Why? Because on the weekends, it's simply much, much more crowded. I mean, of course, during the pandemic, they will have certain restrictions, limited capacity, and so on, but I would say that compared to working days, it would be much more crowded. And even if you go on a working day, naturally, the afternoons would be more crowded than midday around noon, because usually during that time, most of the people would still be working. And now you might say, yeah, I'm also working, I'm studying, etc. Yeah, if you can find a way to just get out, find a way to just take a short break or a longer break for 1 or 2 hours during midday, during your lunch break, I think that would be perfect and you can really enjoy it. But of course, if you're someone who really wants to enjoy the lighting, then you need to go after 4 p.m. So now that we've got that covered, let's go on to the suggestions or the ideas that I have for those of you who perhaps don't want to go to the distillery winter village because you think that you've been there before, it's nothing new, and also because, let's be honest, it's pretty overpriced. I mean, the portions are super small, it's expensive, and the Glühwein or the mulled wine is also pretty expensive. I'm not sure if all of you are familiar with this drink. This drink called mulled wine, or in Germany it's called Glühwein, is a drink that is made out of alcohol, red wine, a certain type of red wine, and it's sweet and it has all these spices, and it's a really nice experience to drink this mulled wine on the Christmas market because it's so cold out there, and it's just nice to enjoy this warm cup of mulled wine in the midst of everything. But if I remember correctly, a very, very small, a tiny cup costs around $10, which is, I think, extremely overpriced. I mean, of course, they have their reasons why they need to sell it at that kind of price. I'm not debating that. Just personally, I don't feel that I want to pay $10 for a small cup of mulled wine anymore because I've done it before in the previous years. And the other reason is also because meanwhile, I've learned how to make it myself at home, and I found out that it's very easy and you can make a ton of it. It costs much less. And in fact, I've actually made a video previously on how to make your own mulled wine or Glühwein at home, and I'm going to put the link up here. You can also check it out in the descriptions below, and in that video I will guide you through step by step how you can make your own delicious mulled wine at home in, I would say, less than 30 minutes, depending on how particular you are with it. Now let's get to the second suggestion or the second idea. I'm not sure if you've been to Lawrence Market before, but Lawrence Market actually has quite some food stalls over there that are pretty good. They have Italian food, Greek food. There's a shop that sells very delicious crepe, and there's also a cafe and so on. The only downside is that you are currently not able to eat it inside. So before the pandemic, there was a lot of seating space, even inside. You could just grab something and eat it there. But I recently went to Lawrence Market and found out that there are actually a lot of seatings outside just in front of Lawrence Market. And of course, now the temperatures are dropping and it's gotten a bit colder, so maybe it's not a good idea to hang out there for too long. But if you, for example, just grab a sandwich or a Nutella crepe or a seafood crepe and a coffee, you can just sit outside for 5 to 10 minutes, enjoy that, enjoy the atmosphere, and yeah, you'll get better food larger quantities, and it's also more delicious, at least in my opinion. In any case, if you are planning to visit Lawrence Market, again, pay close attention to the opening hours. The opening hours here are Tuesday to Fridays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. only. On Saturday from 5 a.m. to 4 p.m. and on Sunday and Mondays, unfortunately, they are closed. So that was it for today's video. Please share with me in the comments below what your ideas are. What else can you do in Toronto during Christmas time, during New Year's Eve? I'd really love to know. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe and also set your notification settings to all notifications if you don't want to miss the next video from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.